Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14 says that therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel. Esther, like many other critics in the past and of course even in the present, says that the word here, which is translated as virgin, is a slip of translation by the Septuagint translators. Septuagint translators translated this word Almah as Parthenos, which means virgin, but in Hebrew Almah doesn't mean virgin, it means young woman. Okay, so they translated the word Almah as virgin, but Almah means young woman, not necessarily a virgin. So if the Hebrew writers meant a virgin, they would have used another word, Betula. Betula means for sure virgin, but Almah doesn't mean a virgin. So the Greek translators messed up with the translation, and conveniently or cunningly the New Testament translators picked up from there and they used it for their own ends, to show that Jesus was a virgin born.
The most colossal blunder that the Greek-speaking Septuagint translators made is a mistranslation of the Hebrew text found in a book called Isaiah in chapter 7 verse 14. This is a verse in the Old Testament that is shown by Christians as an evidence of a prophecy for the futuristic event of the virgin birth of the Christian God-man Jesus. But the evidence fails the linguistic test and turns out to be a slip of the translators. The word used in this verse by the original Hebrew writers was Almah. Almah means a young woman of marriageable age, whether married or not, whether a virgin or has had sexual experience. Almah does not in any sense mean a woman who has not had sexual experience, which leaves room for being sexually active. If the Hebrew writers wanted to mean a woman who was a virgin, the word they would have used is Betula, which leaves no room for speculation or uncertainty as to the woman's virginity status. Now, Betula has been consistently used in passages where the writers were talking about mere ordinary women who were most definitely virgins, whether young or old, without any room for uncertainty. The Greek translators of the Septuagint slipped up and translated Almah into the Greek Parthenos, which means virgin, which leaves no room for speculation or uncertainty with regards to virginity.
Now suddenly she becomes a scholar in Semitic languages. That surprises me, because in my in my video where I exposed Esther Dhanraj's plagiarism, I mentioned that all that she borrowed, the paragraphs and statements, are either from Joseph Willis or some other person. But actually about this the word Almah and Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, she directly copied from Joseph Willis's book and pasted here. Now anyways, neither Joseph Willis or Esther Dhanraj, they are not the scholars in Semitic languages, and she says that it fails. Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14 fails the linguistic test. Now that is surprising to me. Now let's look at what exactly the linguistic test is and how it can be conducted. Let me give lessons into the language, Semitic languages, and see whether Almah means virgin or not. Now Betula means virgin. That's true. That's true according to the Hebrew language. Almah means young woman. This is what Esther asserts. Now the question could be reversed. The question could be reversed. That is, if at all the Hebrew writers wanted to write a young woman in Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, they should have, or they would have used another word for young woman. And that word is Nara. Nara, which means young woman. The word Betula is used 50 times in the Bible, and all these instances are for virgin. But the word for young woman is Nara, which occurs 63 times in the Bible. The use of the noun, that is Nar, which is the masculine of Nara, the masculine form is used frequently in the Old Testament, and it occurs more than 225 times. It is generally, though not exclusively, applied to a little boy, a young man, a youth. So Nara and Nar, the masculine and the feminine forms of the word for young woman or young boy, appear so many times. If the Hebrew writers wanted to, or the Hebrew author of Isaiah wanted to talk about a young woman, he would have used Nara. Now the point is, Almah, on the contrary, appears or occurs in the entire Bible only 7 times. Only 7 times. Now, here is something that Esther and others should know, that Rebecca in the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 24 verse 43 and Genesis chapter 24 verse 16, Genesis in these verses, Rebecca was also called Betula and she was also called Almah. Both. Now what Esther or Joseph Willis doesn't know, because they have no idea, no clue about the Semitic languages, let me give a lesson into the etymology of the word Almah. Now, according to Jerome, the word Almah is derived from a very rare call form, Q-A-L, call form alam, which means conceal or hide. Conceal or hide. Hence, the feminine derivation of this word implies not just a girl or virgin, but it has an added quality, namely a concealed or hidden virgin. A concealed or hidden virgin. So Almah is not only a virgin, it has an added quality, that is concealed or hidden virgin. A virgin is considered precisely hidden or concealed when she is diligently safeguarded by her parents and is never disclosed to the sight of men. So Isaiah used Almah carefully. Betula can be applied to a virgin regardless of age. If she is young or old, if she is a virgin, Betula can be used. Virgin, that's it. Nara is to a young girl. But when it comes to Almah, to a virgin in her girlish years. That's why Isaiah was very precise and he used the word Almah. Isaiah was aware of it. And Almah occurs only 7 times in the Bible. You can check it out. Anybody can check it out. Go to Bible Hub, just type Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, interlinear Bible, and then you just click on the word Almah and it will show you the 7 references where it occurs. Only 7 times in the Bible. So, in the Punic language, which is closely related to the Hebrew, a virgin is similarly called Almah. I am talking about other language, a similar language like of Hebrew, Punic language. Even there, a virgin is called Almah. But then, let me give you more insights into the linguistic test. How do we know whether Jerome is saying the truth? Whether Isaiah used carefully the word Almah? Let me give you more insight into that. Let's go out of the Bible into the Near Eastern Semitic languages of that time. Extra biblical Semitic documents. Now I'm going to show you one thing, one tablet which is called Tablets of Ras Shamara. In 1928, a farmer, while plowing his field at Ras Shamara, Syria, Ras Shamara in Arabic it means funnel head, he uncovered a slab of stone. This place is identified as the ancient Phoenician city of Ugarit. Later they found the entire library of tablets, and these tablets are generally known as Tablets of Ras Shamara. You can Google it. Now, these cuneiform tablets with an alphabetic system of 30 letters go back to the 14th or 15th century BC. They go back to the 14th or 15th century BC. Interestingly, the word Almah is found on these tablets, which means virgin. I am also giving you the references below, the research articles or the books that you can consult to confirm what I am saying. It means virgin. Let me give you the linguistic test again. Kalumu inscription. This is where again an inscription of Phoenician alphabet dating back to say 825 BC. Oh, by the way, previously the cuneiform tablets which I spoke of, the tablets of Ras Shamara, they go back to 14th or 15th century BC. Now I am talking about Kalumu inscription here dating back to 825 BC, inscription in Phoenician alphabet. In line 8, you look at the lines here. In line 8, the word Almah is written. Scholars translated it as virgin. I am also giving you the reference for you to cross check. The third one is Kition Inscription or Kition Inscription. The Kition necropolis Phoenician inscriptions are 4 Phoenician inscriptions discovered in necropolis of Torpy in 1894 by British archaeologist John Myers on behalf of the Cyprus Exploration Fund. Now this belongs to the 4th century BC and mentions among the various officials of Astartes La Almat. Now here there is the word Almah. These are understood to be virgins or holy maidens. References I have given below. You can check it out. Now this we call linguistic test. Hope Esther get to know the linguistic test, and she realizes that Isaiah 7:14 actually passes the linguistic test, and her opinion, her view, and her so-called scholars' view fails the linguistic test.
For in context, Isaiah's prophecy had been given as a reassurance to King Ahaz of Judah that his royal line would survive despite the ongoing siege of Jerusalem by the Syrians. The prophecy had nothing to do with any virgin or her conception or the Messiah of the world or events in Bethlehem 800 years into the future. This slip was taken advantage of by the deceitful early Christians. allowing them to concoct their infamous prophecy that somehow the ancient Jewish text foretold of the arrival of an infant actually called Jesus and sanctioned his miraculous virgin birth.
Coming to the Emmanuel prophecy, she said that this prophecy has got nothing to do with Jesus Christ. So, if you look at the whole prophecy, Isaiah chapter 7, from verse 1 and through 14 to the 14th verse, you need to look at it. Yahweh through Isaiah is addressing to two distinct groups of people. One, the house of David in general. On the one hand, he was addressing to the house of David, and on the other, he was talking to or addressing to King Ahaz. So, the Emmanuel prophecy is given to the house of David and not to the King Ahaz. Now, King Ahaz's sign was found in Isaiah's son Shear-Jashub, who already reached the age of accountability and chose to do what was right. Ahaz was much older and still chose to do what was evil. Thus, Ahaz's kingdom was coming to an end. That is point number one. Secondly, the second point is, if God wants to give a sign to Ahaz, if it was merely a young woman giving birth to a child, what sort of a sign is that? Any young woman can bear a child and give birth. It will become a sign only if it is if that sign is something extra natural, that is miraculous. And even this proves that the word Almah has to be virgin. Only then it could be a sign to Ahaz. Secondly, the singular and plural languages. When God was addressing to the house of David, it was the language was plural. A close examination of the Hebrew text shows a difference in language used directed to Ahaz as opposed to the house of David. Now, when Isaiah is addressing Ahaz, he uses singular language and uses plural language when he was speaking to King David or the house of David. So this proves that the Emmanuel prophecy directed to the house of David, it is not necessarily to hold that the prophecy only addresses to Ahaz and even his time. So the prophecy has a twofold fulfillment, one at the time of Ahaz and another in future. So that's the linguistic test. So Isaiah connects the birth of the child from Isaiah 7:14 to the prophecies given in the same book of Isaiah in chapter 9 verse 6 to 7 and in chapter 11 verse 1 to 10. He is connecting. If you read all these passages together, you will get a clear picture. Thus the prophet took the view at the time the prophecy was given that this promised child would come at some point in future. Okay? Now, there is a corroboration to Isaiah prophecy. Micah, who was a contemporary of Isaiah, gives a similar prophecy. He says, Bethlehem Ephrathah, you are small among the clans of Judah. One will come from you to be ruler over Israel for me. His origin is from antiquity, from the ancient times. Now, a contemporary of Isaiah gives a prophecy. Now, I think Esther needs to understand the linguistic test as well as the fulfillment of the prophecy. So, Let's see what further she says.
Now, Jerome himself wrote that he was criticized by many of his contemporaries for his virgin birth falsification. He even reluctantly replied to one of his critics, Javinianum, "I know that the Jews are accustomed to meet us with the objection that in Hebrew, the word Almah does not mean a virgin, but a young woman, and to speak truth, a virgin is properly called Betula." Jerome intentionally clung to the error, thus perpetuating through 1500 years the myth of the prophetic virgin birth of the Judeo-Christian God-man.
She talks about Jerome reluctantly replied to a person by the name Javinianum. I don't know whether that's the correct pronunciation, but here is what she quoted. She quoted the words of Jerome, "I know that the Jews are accustomed to meet us with the objection that in Hebrew the word Alma does not mean a virgin but a woman, and to speak truth, a virgin is properly called Betula." Now, is that the whole sentence? Why doesn't she quote the entire sentence? I just don't get it. Why? Why can't she read the whole sentence? Because I have provided enough evidence that she reads only that portion which meets her purpose and leaves the rest. Let's see the continuation of the statement. But, this is what Jerome says, "But a young woman or a girl is not Alma but Nara." The previous explanation I gave you, young woman, if the Hebrew writers wanted to talk about or mention about a young woman, they would have mentioned Nara, or Isaiah would have mentioned Nara. That's the point Jerome is raising here. He is responding. The statement didn't end over there till what Esther quoted. It continues. What Jerome is saying, but a young woman or a girl is not Alma but Nara. What then is the meaning of Alma? A hidden virgin. That is, not merely virgin, but a virgin and something more, because not every virgin is hidden, shut off from the occasional sight of men. Then again, Rebecca, on account of her extreme purity and because she was a type of the church which was represented in her own virginity, is described in Genesis as Alma, not Betula, as may clearly be proved from the words of Abraham's servant. Now further, this is the challenge. This is the challenge that Jerome challenges his critic, whoever it is, Javinianum or whoever it is. This is the response that Jerome gives. That is, the Hebrew word is Alma, that is a virgin secluded and guarded by her parents with extreme care. Or if this be not so, if this is not what it is, let them at least show me where the word Alma is applied to a married woman as well. I will confess my ignorance. Jerome is challenging, show me where Alma is used for a married woman who is also young. I will admit that I am ignorant. He challenged. But Esther will not show you all these things. Why? Because people will get to know that she is lying. So the true scholar's attitude shouldn't be this cunning. They shouldn't be stooping so low. Read, at least read the whole sentence and see what exactly it means. So hope you people are informed about the truth, whether Jerome was lying or admitting that Septuagint has many discrepancies, which Septuagint scriptures that he rejected and which Septuagint he visited for the revision of the Gospels. Hope you are cleared about all these things, and as well as the word Alma. So share this video, like my video, and subscribe to my channel. And this ministry, this work needs your support. The work that I am doing, it's an independent work. It is not associated with any organizations, and there are many challenges. If you would like to support my work and what I am doing, you can contact me on my email ID, and pray for this work and this ministry. And I will be soon back with a new episode. God bless you.